King Charles could be the last monarch to reign over the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth, according to anti-monarchy activists. Since Queen Elizabeth's death, questions have hanged over Charles' ability to preserve the monarchy after Her Majesty's reign of over 70 years. According to YouGov polls, the proportion of British people who say they're proud of the British monarchy has fallen since the Queen's death in September from 55% to 43% in January. Graham Smith, anti-monarchy activist and Republic spokesperson, believes falling popular support for the royal family means Charles is failing to honor his mother's legacy. He told Express.co.uk, "In the past, when we had huge crises, the Queen was never really involved too much. And where she was, it was all sort of blamed on other people. Charles is implicated in all of this, William is implicated in all of this. And there isn't anybody else. It's just that difficult odd monarch who doesn't gather a lot of sympathies." After the Queen's death in September, questions hanged about King Gary's ability to emulate his mother's sense of stability. He has failed, according to the anti-monarchy activist. Mr. Smith said, "Where people projected that notion of stability onto the Queen and confidence in her being a monarch, I don't think they have confidence in Charles in the same way." Simon Hill, an anti-monarchy activist who was charged with using threatening or abusive words or behaviour or disorderly behaviour after shouting at the King in Oxford, says the Queen represented the monarchy and her death is leading to the inevitable demise of the royal family. He told Express.co.uk, "For many people, Elizabeth was the monarchy. There wasn't really much of a separation in many of our minds between Elizabeth as an individual who was quite popular and respected, and the monarchy as an institution. Nobody under 70 had lived under a different monarch. I think Charles is not necessarily unpopular, but he's not as personally popular as his mother was." King Charles made a few blunders, Mr. Hill said, including the moment he got frustrated at a leaky pen during a book signing in Northern Ireland, the redundancies of dozens of Clarence House staff as the offices of King Charles and the Queen Consort moved to Buckingham Palace after the death of the Queen, and declaring his son as Prince of Wales without consultation with the First Minister of Wales. As a result, Mr. Hill said, questions surface about why there is a royal institution in Britain. However, he insisted that King Charles follows the reign of one of the most popular monarchs in history and as a result, the new monarch is bound to fail. He explained, "I can't imagine what it's like for somebody to have to take on a major high-profile job whilst still grieving their own mother. So, he's going to fail because he is human." Professor Billig, the author of Talking of the Royal Family, which tackles the challenges facing the monarchy, said the primary cause for dwindling royal support is the Queen's death and King Charles, who he cannot emulate his mother as a symbol of stability. He told Express.co.uk, "But perhaps he might be better advised to seek to change the image of the monarchy and to attempt to represent refreshing change, rather as Edward VII did following the long reign of Victoria. But the new king may have difficulties in representing change. He has not been welcomed with a burst of optimism as Edward was. Young people are likely to see him as another old person with a rather grey personality." However, a report by Professor John Curtis on the future of the royal family, found that despite small ups and downs, support for the monarchy has remained remarkably constant over the last 30 years and has always recovered, even after the late Queen's annus horribilis. Looking ahead, Professor Curtis added, "Meanwhile, Until now, people's views will have been influenced by their perceptions of the late Queen herself. Future public support for the monarchy may well rest heavily on King Charles' ability to prove a worthy successor. Read next.